And good morning, this is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you're with me today. Well, over the last 2 days, we've had cold weather down in the 40s. Rain has been coming down, and I like it. It's fresh. It's makes you have a lot of energy, especially when you got to keep moving around because it's cold. But you keep on doing it, and that's the way life is. Hey, I gave this lecture, and I have to give it again. But I gave the lecture at the beginning of the 2022 election season that businesses have got to focus on the business. They have got to get their employees to focus in on their business. If you allow politics to enter into your company, you're going to corrupt your company. You're going to corrupt the time that is spent by employees on actual business. You're going to allow for the environment to be filled with conflict. You see, evil comes with politics. Politics is not a clean business. It's an unethical business. And once we begin engulfing that within inside our businesses, we are opening up a whole issue of conflict. Not only within inside the business, but also with individuals outside the business, because people are watching us. They're listening to what we're saying. They are seeing that we have becoming involved in politics in our business, and that creates conflict because they may not believe as you believe. Your employees may not believe as you believe. Your employees may hate other employees because they don't agree with what that other employee is believing, their political thought process, their political beliefs. So we saw this so much. A good example of this is Twitter. Twitter has been a good laboratory rat to see exactly how wokeness and politics, when it's involved in a business and when this cancel culture becomes engulfed inside your business, how much damage that it does. When you take your mind off of your business and replace it with politics or cancel culture, you are creating a big obstacle of your company going anywhere. Because now companies are looking at you and saying, do I really want to do business with that individual because that's the way he thinks politically? And that doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right. You're not going to see the other person's politics in the same way. And you're going to say, you know what? I'm going to cancel him out. Just because that company believes that way, just because that CEO believes that way, just because their employees believe that way, I'm going to cancel them out. We see this happening every single day. If you look at Twitter, if you look at the social media outlets out there, you see all these individuals that have so much hate built up in them because of politics that they're trying to cancel you out. They don't believe in how you believe. They don't believe in how you're running your company. So they're trying to cancel you out. Well, look at the advertisers on Twitter. They wanted to cancel out Elon Musk because they didn't agree with his way of doing business. So they said, we're going to cancel him out. Even though millions of people watch him every single day. But on the other hand, I kind of see that, and I said this at the very beginning when Elon was buying this company, is that the followers and the users were not all that clean. So it's going to hurt the problems of cash flow within the company, because when companies or advertisers or users see that a company is woke and they are trying to cancel other people out, and their users are not really there because they're fake users, you have to begin to question that company. And that's what happened with Twitter. And now Elon Musk is in there trying to clean things up. And that's what he has to do because he's now the new owner. That's how what happens with every single company acquisition that goes on. People have to go in and change or clean things up so that it runs more smoothly. But see, this is what happens when you allow politics to come into your company. We should be able to express our own thoughts as it relates to business. If we have a great idea, we should be able to speak it out. If we don't agree with your supervisor or your manager, you can go to them and you can be able to speak clearly and frankly. But however, if you bring politics into it, and if your supervisor is politically this way and you're politically another way, you're going to remain silent. And that's what I've seen happen because I mediate employee disputes all the time. And it's always about the communication process and how that other person thinks about that other individual based upon how he manages or how he speaks or how he leads. And if you're leading woke-wise, not work-wise, but woke-wise, you're going to do damage to that organization. And if you are a leader within an organization and if you're practicing wokeness, stop it right now. Leave your politics at the door. Because you have got to lead your employees to be totally committed to that company. Not committed to a political idealism or a political thought process or political candidate. But your job as a leader is to get your companies focused on your products, on your financial services, or whatever that you are doing in business. It's your responsibilities to lead those individuals to do better at their work. Not at their wokeness, not at their politics, but at the business that you're in. When we allow politics to come into our business, we have just turned a switch on that says conflicts come here. Conflicts in the way that I speak to people, conflicts in the way that I look at people because of the way they believe, not based upon their competence in what they're doing as their job, but based upon their political views. And your job as a leader is to get your employees to focus on their competency, what they do best, and to make that company better, best. You see, companies lead very well when they focus on their business. When they get involved in other things, a good example is Coke, how they got involved in Georgia voting rights law. They made an assumption and they did not take time to really understand what the law did, and they became woke. And they lost money because of that political view. You notice Coke hasn't said anything more because they learned the process that when they become woke, it does damage and it creates conflict for the business. That's amazing, isn't it? I know, listen, I grew up in politics, and my family was always in politics. But we knew when to turn it on, and we knew when to turn it off. When we sat around the dinner table and talked about politics on a Sunday afternoon, we knew that Monday when we went into the office, we had to lead. Not lead in politics, but lead in our business. We knew that we had to push our employees harder to do better, to enhance their ability to do better. We knew that we had to work closely with our customers and build these relationships. And as leaders in business, we knew that if we didn't focus on the business, we would lose out. But once a company allows that political thought process to enter into a business, it creates conflict. Now, conflict can be resolved, but a lot of wasted time goes in between the time that the conflict begins until the time the conflict gets resolved. You see, conflict, when it involves politics, not only involves the two people who are having the conflict, but it involves everyone around in that team, in that department, in that business. It involves everybody because people are afraid to say anything because they don't know what their boss or the other employee are going to blow up at. So they remain silent, and a lot of work is wasted. Time is wasted. Money is wasted. It costs companies billions of dollars a year based on workplace disputes and conflicts. Conflict costs a lot of money. But most importantly, it costs reputations. When people get so engulfed in politics and they're not talking about the business anymore or any longer. A good thing, a good example is Mike Lindell of My Pillow. Got involved in politics. It offended other people who did not believe as Mike Lindell did. And it hurt his business. Companies began pulling accounts with him. You see, when you're in business, you have a responsibility to your business. Whatever you do outside that business that does not involve your company and is not using your company name, that's fine. You can go out there and campaign for people. You can do whatever you want. But never involve your company's name. So I'm asking that all of you who run a business or are leaders in the business or whatever you are, sit down with your HR this week and put together a political process in your HR manual that addresses what you can and cannot do politically within the company. What you can do outside the company is fine, but inside the business, you need to address that issue. And do it quickly. Because now we're engulfed in the 2024 elections with Trump announcing last night. Now this is going to set a whole bunch of people off. Be a leader. Sit down and plan on how you're going to deal with politics in your company. Listen, if you want to have more access to me, go to www.lodgelodge-co.com. Again, that's www.lodgelodge-co.com. Now, probably starting Friday, my podcasts are going to be in between because I'm going to be on a train headed towards California. It's going to be 3 days, so I might not be able to upload my podcast. I'll record them as I'm on the train, but sometimes we don't have cell service as you're going out through the mountains and the desert and everything else. But I will try. I will try my hardest. I'm looking forward to this train trip. I'm packed and ready to go. I got to go to the store and buy me some snacks today, but I'm ready to go. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. Go out and have a blessed day.